Good morning everyone. Is my audio and video clear? Please let me know in the comment section. Good morning Manish, Prachi. Good morning Chetan. Okay. Good morning Rahul, Nihal. A very good morning to everyone watching this video. I am Manat Sharma from Oliveboard and I'm here with the live mint analysis that we do every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So I bring in some important articles over here and we try to link it with the static portion and try and understand what these articles mean and what the news is about. So let's not waste time and let's begin with our session. If you want to download this YouTube class PDF, you can do it from the Oliveboard app. Just go to the courses section and there's going to be a separate folder of YouTube class PDFs. You can download it from here. Okay? Chalo. So let's begin. The first important news is that startups, MSMEs filed 310% more patents in past 5 years. See, when we talk about patents, these are kind of your intellectual property rights. Who's going to tell me that what do you mean by intellectual property rights? What is the meaning of intellectual property rights? Write in the comment section and tell me what do you mean by intellectual property rights? What is the meaning of IPRs? Patents is one of the type of IPR. There can be other as well, right? Like trademark, then copyright, then GI tags. All these are what? These are your intellectual property rights. What do you mean by that? Yes, Nihal, copyright is a type of IPR, an intangible asset which is product of one's intellect. Exactly. See, what happens is that one, you have your physical property, right? You have physical property like house, cars, and all. Every that is your physical property. But your intellectual property, that means, for example, I'll give you an example that say you have developed a cancer drug which cures cancer in immediately, which cancer immediately, for example. Okay, but this cancer or this drug that you have prepared, you have taken around 10 to 15 years to prepare this drug. You have put in a lot of money, a lot of effort in this. It is your intellect, it is your brain. You have put in a lot of hard work, you have put in a lot of research and development in this. You have spent so many years of your life in building this product or building this drug. Now it has become your intellectual property. It has become your intellectual property. Nobody can take it away from you. So to protect this property of you, you file IPR and then you get a patent, trademark, copyright, depending upon which type of property you are talking about. Right? So it includes patents, copyright, GI tags, etc. Yes, Chetan. Intangible assets created through one's intellect. Okay. Non-fungible tokens as well. Right. Okay. So anything which is a property of your, which is your property or your intellect, your brain, you have put in your brain in that thing, that becomes your intellectual property. So to protect this intellectual property, because if you have suppose built this drug and immediately it is available for everyone, then what is the point of putting in so much hard work, so much money, so much research and development in this? That is why you get a patent for that. Fine. So यहाँ पे what they're saying is startups, MSMEs filed 310% more patents in the past 5 years, which is a good thing because we are innovating. This shows that we are innovating, right? Fine. So patent filings by startups and MSMEs have seen a remarkable increase, 310% increase over the past 5 years. So, the number rose from 1492 filings in 2018-19 to 6120 filings in 23-24. Okay, and more than 2.4 million students and faculty members across India have been educated about intellectual property. So we can, because this intellectual property or intellectual property right, people are not very aware of what this thing is. And sometimes, they do not avail the benefits also under this. For example, we have the tribal population also. They have their natural, you can say, they have their intellectual property which through their generations has passed on, say related to any kind of medicine and all, but they do not know anything about these IPRs or the benefit that they can take up from this, right? We have a special mission also for this, which is a national intellectual property awareness mission, which talks about spreading awareness about this intellectual property, these rights and all. Okay. And so we have this national intellectual property awareness mission. Now, this awareness mission, it was launched in 2021, 8th December 2021, which is part of your Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे this NIPAM was launched in 2021. Implementing agency कौन है? Intellectual Property Office, under Office of the Controller General of Patents, Designs and Trademarks. ठीक है, this is under your Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So which ministry? Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Which office? Office of Controller General of Patents, Designs and Trademarks. And कौन सा ऑफिस है ये? Intellectual Property Office. ठीक है, and this CGPDTM, this office has formulated this mission, which is called your National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission. ठीक है, so according to recent reports, by how much have patent filings by startups and MSMEs increased in the past 5 years? 210%, 310%, 410% or 510%? Very easy question, very direct question. This kind of a question can be asked in your exam. Okay, so quickly give me the answer. Yes. So B is the correct answer, 310%. This is already mentioned over here. So not a difficult question. Next. India weighs trade halt with Pakistan as tensions escalate. Now we know that there has been this Pahalgam attack, Pahalgam terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir, because of which now India-Pakistan relations have strained a lot. India has also taken so many steps. Pakistan in retaliation is also taking steps, right? Now, what has India done? India has taken many steps, and one of that is that trade, India is going to halt the trade. Many other steps have been taken by India, for example, suspending the Indus Water Treaty, right? They've closed the Atari-Wagah border and they have sent the Pakistani citizens from India to Pakistan. So, many steps are being taken up. Good morning, Indian Sharma. Okay, many steps are being taken up by India in retaliation to Pakistan's, or you can say the Pahalgam attack that happened a few days back, right? So, here what they are saying is India is considering a complete halt of trade with Pakistan after these recent terror attacks. And this is really going to disrupt Pakistan's economy, which relies heavily on India, on essential imports such as fruits, vegetables, pharmaceuticals, organic chemicals, sugar. So all these things, if Pakistan is dependent on India, and if we halt this trade completely, this is going to really impact Pakistan's economy. Okay, and India is also exploring alternative challenges with channels with third party assistance as well, so that they can intensify this economic impact. Fine. So from April 24 to 25, trade with Pakistan was valued at $500 million. Okay, and India's exports to Pakistan surged by 127%. बढ़ गए थे 127% से to $1.21 billion in 2024. ठीक है, तो आप देख सकते हैं 530 मिलियन के अराउंड थे इन 2023 एंड 2024 में 1.21 बिलियन डॉलर्स हो गए थे. दैट मींस पाकिस्तान इज हेवीली डिपेंडेंट ऑन इंडिया. और अगर हमने एसेंशियल गुड्स का हॉल्ट किया, जैसे फार्मास्यूटिकल्स हो गए, फ्रूट्स, वेजिटेबल्स, शुगर, ये बहुत ज्यादा प्रेशर डाल देगा पाकिस्तान के ऊपर. ठीक है, पाकिस्तान ने भी रिटेलिएट किया है बाय सस्पेंडिंग बायलैटरल एग्रीमेंट्स, ट्रेड एक्टिविटीज, एयर स्पेस को उन्होंने क्लोज कर दिया है फॉर द इंडियन एयरक्राफ्ट। तो इनके बीच में वी कैन सी द इंडिया पाकिस्तान में भी अब प्रॉब्लम शुरू हो गई। वी आर ऑलरेडी सीइंग दैट ग्लोबल वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर कितना ज्यादा डिसरप्ट हो रहा है, राइट। ग्लोबल जो हमारा वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर है बहुत ज्यादा डिसरप्ट हो रहा है। इन एवरी प्लेस, एवरी राउंड ऑफ द कॉर्नर वी हैव सम और द अदर प्रॉब्लम्स, वी हैव सम और द अदर problems or conflicts going on between countries, and now India and Pakistan is also involved in this conflict। ठीक है, हर जगह आप देखें तो हर जगह कोई ना कोई प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है। यूएस की बात करें, रशिया की बात करें, रशिया यूक्रेन, इसराइल पैलेस्टीन, मिडिल ईस्ट की बात करें ना, इंडिया पाकिस्तान के बीच में भी वी कैन सी दिस प्रॉब्लम। हमारे साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में भी यू कैन टॉक अबाउट म्यांमार, वहां पे भी बहुत इशू चल रहा है। अफ्रीका में अगर आप देखें वहां पे भी बहुत इशू चल रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ Mali, Chad, because of this military power over there। तो every corner of the world is facing some or the other geopolitical issue। ठीक है, so by what percentage did India's exports to Pakistan surge in 2024 compared to 2023? 100%, 500%, 300%, or 127%? Tell me. Quickly give me the answer. Yes, absolutely correct, 127%। ठीक है, good। Yes, all of you, very good। चलो, इंडिया टू फास्ट ट्रैक चाबहार पोर्ट एक्सपेंशन वर्क एंड रेल कनेक्टिविटी। तो यहाँ पे क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके लिए? छबाहर पोर्ट। सो हु इज गोइंग टू टेल मी, ये हम कहाँ पे कंस्ट्रक्ट करने की बात कर रहे हैं? वेयर इज दिस छबाहर पोर्ट? हु इज गोइंग टू टेल मी? हु इज गोइंग टू टेल मी वेयर इज दिस छबाहर पोर्ट, और हम कहाँ पे इसकी बात कर रहे हैं? दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पोर्ट, स्पेशली रिलेटेड टू योर IMEC। I hope you know about IMEC, India Middle East Economic Corridor. Indian Sharma is saying Afghanistan. No, Jawahar Port is not in Afghanistan. It is not in Afghanistan, Indian Sharma. Abhishek says Iran, exactly. So we are building this in Iran ताकि हम पाकिस्तान को bypass कर सकें। That is why we have this. Yes, Chetan, Prem, Iran, right. Fine. So we have this Chabahar Port expansion. We're talking about Chabahar Port expansion over here. Now, what this news is about, that India is planning to, expedite the expansion of this Chabahar Port. Especially, you can see that India-Pakistan relations are also straining, right? So, one is that suppose this is India, right? Suppose this is India. We have Pakistan this side. So, we were usually going through this Pakistan, right? For trade, this is a direct route, but now we are exploring other ways so that through Iran we can reach towards Europe, or Central Asia. Through Iran we can do that. That is why we are talking about building this Chabahar port in Iran through rail links from the strategic port to Iran's border with Central Asia, because we want to expedite this thing। हाँ, yes Prachi, Iran, ठीक है। Now, what is this initiative? It is to bypass Pakistan and the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So we know about this Belt and Road Initiative, BRI initiative of China, wherein China is helping countries, or China is building roads with countries, or it is establishing connectivity with different countries, and this is kind of a you can say a way China is trying to exert its pressure on economies, on countries, है ना? A part of that is the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. CPEC is part of this corridor. ठीक है? So now India wants to bypass Pakistan, bypass this China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, enhance India's trade and connectivity with Central Asian countries, and strengthen its regional geopolitical influence. Exactly, Chetan. Kind of the previous Silk Route that we had during the ancient times. It is kind of a revival of that. This is a strategy which China is using to enhance, or to make itself dominant over the countries, right? Then India aims to expand this Chabahar port to boost cargo handling capacity. New rail connectivity between Chabahar and Zahedan. So this is also in Iran only. So Chabahar, this is a port, and towards this Zahedan we want to establish a rail link. ठीक है, तो ईरान में ही from Chabahar to Zahedan, we want to establish this rail link. This is being planned in Central Asia, and this is part of your INSTC, your International North-South Transport Corridor, which is an important part of your IMEC project. ठीक है, India Middle East Economic Corridor project. ठीक है, and we want this is to counter the China backed projects like Pakistan's Gwadar port. ठीक है, so what is the main objective of India's plan to fast track Chabahar port expansion and rail connectivity? To promote tourism between India and Iran, to bypass Pakistan and enhance connectivity with Central Asia, to develop a military base at Chabahar, to connect Indian ports directly to Europe. What is the answer to this question? Quickly give me the answer. Indian Sharma is asking what's TEUs? It is a unit of measurement. It is a unit of shipping and all जो industry रहती है उसमें हम जो unit use करते हैं, that is what is TEUs. Okay, so basically this is a 20-foot equivalent unit. 20-foot equivalent unit. जैसे units होते हैं ना वैसे shipping industry में हम इसकी बात करते हैं. Fine. जो भी cargo carrying capacity होती है उसको हम इस units में देखते हैं. Fine. Right. Okay, all of you, correct answer is B, absolutely correct, to bypass Pakistan and enhance connectivity with Central Asia. Very good. Fine. Next, we have foreign ETF lovers catch new fancy in China and Brazil markets. So here we are talking about exchange traded funds. Many a times I have discussed what these exchange traded funds are. Those kind of mutual funds which are traded on the stock exchange can be called your exchange traded funds. So now what they're saying is that these foreign ETF lovers, foreign exchange traded fund lovers, they are shifting towards China, Brazil markets. Okay, so retail investors from India who were first moving towards US. So we were seeing that these foreign portfolio investors or these retail investors, they were taking out their money from India and they were putting it in US markets and all, right? So now what they're saying is that those retail investors who were first favoring and moving towards US markets, now they are shifting and investing in China and Brazil. Exchange traded funds ke through they are shifting to China and Brazil. And this shift comes, because of this fall in the US equities market. We are already seeing that US may, there's a potential recession also that we can see. US may there are a lot of, issues related to this thing. That is why people are now shifting towards China and Brazil. Plus China और Brazil में काफी ज़्यादा attractive valuations मिल रही हैं in these emerging markets. That is why we are shifting towards these countries. ठीक है? So many of them, many Indian investors who were part of this liberalized remittance scheme. I hope you know about this liberalized remittance scheme. I'm giving you this homework. Just if I tell you briefly, liberalized remittance scheme ke through you can send money abroad, or people can send money to India. That is the scheme. Fine, where you can send remittances to each other, to each other's countries. That is what is this liberalized remittance scheme. So now they have, so those Indian investors who were using this, sending money through this LRS scheme, now they're shifting preference to China and Brazil. And, investments into China and Brazil also grew more than investments into US in 2025. Right, so Brazil focused ETF saw an 80 times increase compared to 2024 in 2025. Fine, and China focused ETF saw 10 times increase. Okay, so and if you talk about US focused ETF investments, they rose only 11% in volume. Factors for the shift include cheaper valuations in China and Brazil. So what are the reasons why they are shifting towards China and Brazil? Because of cheaper valuations, better economic prospects, and obviously uncertainties in the US tech stocks as well. ठीक है, आउटबाउंड इन्वेस्टमेंट्स वाया LRS, आउटबाउंड इन्वेस्टमेंट्स जो बाहर जा रही हैं पैसा थ्रू दिस LRS scheme, it increased by 20%. Fine. So where are Indian retail investors increasingly investing via ETFs in 2025? China and Brazil, US and UK, Japan and Korea. Australia and Canada. Now this question has become easy because we already read the news article, but because if you have might have not read about the news, then you would probably take USA and UK, right? Right. So quickly give me the answer, all of you. Right. A is the correct answer. China and Brazil. Fine. Then we have China says US should revoke unilateral tariffs, denies talks. Now we know that China and US, they are almost at a trade war, right? They are retaliating with each other with tariffs and all. So now what is China saying? That US needs to revoke these unilateral tariffs, only then we are going to talk with them. This is just the crux of the news. Okay, so the United States should revoke all these unilateral tariffs that it has put on, China or any other country, and otherwise we are not going to have trade talks with you. That is what China is saying. So China insists that there should be more substantial steps that needed to be taken up before we can start with the negotiations. What is China saying? Remove these unilateral tariffs. Trump said that we might lower the tariff, but China says that this is insufficient to ease these tensions. And China is saying that US should show sincerity and address the broader issues, including sanctions and Taiwan concerns as well. And Beijing also criticized US tariffs and expressed cautions regarding these negotiations that we're only going to negotiate once you remove these unilateral tariffs. So, what condition has China set before agreeing to trade talks with the US? Increase tariffs further, remove all unilateral tariffs, decrease Chinese tariffs, or withdraw from the United Nations? Quickly give me the answer to this question. What is the condition that China has set up before it gets into full-fledged talks with the US? Absolutely correct. Remove all unilateral tariffs. Okay, it's not C, decrease Chinese exports. No, Prem, C is not the correct answer. Okay, B is the correct answer. Remove all unilateral tariffs. Fine, so you can see over here also. Right. Then we have SEBI simplifies norms for REITs, what do you call rates, right? So what are these? These are small and medium real estate investment trusts. So who is going to tell me what do you mean by real estate investment trusts? What are real estate investment trusts? Before we understand what the news is about, tell me what you mean by real estate investment trusts. Quickly give me the answer. Instruments, I know. Indian Sharma. Is this your name only, or is your name something else? So yeah, these are instruments, but related to what? Kind of mutual fund, but instead of securities, investment is in real estate. Exactly, Chetan. Company that owns, operates, or finances income producing real estate. Okay, Abhishek. Investment in real estate. ठीक है. अब इसमें क्या है? This is like a mutual fund. ठीक है, म्यूचुअल फंड जैसा ही है, wherein people come, these investors, they come and they pool in their money. So they pool their money, but rather than investing, what happens in mutual fund is that you are investing in securities and all, shares and all. But in this case, you invest in properties, you invest in real estate in this case. And unit holder earns rental and capital gains related to real estate hikes. Exactly, Chetan. Okay? So this is you are pooling your money. These investors are pooling their money and they're putting into real estate, into properties, not into securities. Basically, this is the difference. ठीक है, so now SEBI has eased and standardized the public issue process of small and medium. तो public issue मतलब जब आप public से पैसा raise करते हैं, public issue करते हैं, जैसे आपके IPOs होते हैं, so we're talking about that. So इसके लिए SEBI has standardized and eased the rules, public issue process. so that they can be ease of doing business, so that they can be better transparency, so that we can enhance investor confidence. Okay. And what have they done is, basically I've tried to bring in the simplest manner over here. They have made changes how information is given in offer documents, how to give information. So they have divided into two easy parts. One is your key information of trust, the second is your key information of the scheme. So in this key information of trust, they have given general details about this, these real estate investment trust. Like who manages it, who is going to be the trustee. How everything is structured in easy manner. In this document, or in this part, they have explained it. In the second part, which is your key information of the scheme, they have talked about specific details about each project or each scheme under this real estate investment trust. Okay. And then they have made certain changes also in the credit rating agency rules. So new rules for these credit rating agencies, so that they can be more clarity, they can be more transparency. That is what they have brought in. And apart from that, there are changes in the ESG rating providers as well. So ESG means environmental, social, governance. Okay, environmental, social, and governance. So those the ESG rating providers are those people or those institutes that provide ratings to the companies, or ratings to any kind of institution related to their ESG goals. How much are they contributing to environmental, social, and governance goals? कैसा रहा है इसमें, ठीक है? So SEBI now requires these rating providers to share their ESG rating reports. तो ये जो ESG rating reports है, you have to share with the company also जो rate हो रही है, and also the people who are subscribing to that rating. ठीक है? And that means you have to basically publicly disclose this policy, जो भी ECG policy. Fine. So what recent changes has SEBI made regarding small and medium real estate investment trusts? Removed investment limits, standardized disclosures and simplified public issue processes, increased the tax benefits, reduced minimum investment to rupees 1000. What is the correct answer? Quickly give me the answer to this question. Frame A is not the correct answer. Removed investment limits. This we have not read about this only. We have not read about removing the investment limits. Right? A cannot be the correct answer. The correct answer is B. Standardized disclosures and simplified public issue process. Please read the question carefully. Okay. The next we have IMF chief calls for economic reform. So who is the IMF chief? Anyone? Who is the IMF chief? Who's going to tell me? You should know about these leaders. You should be knowing about these leaders. IMF chief, WTO chief, World Bank chief. You should be knowing about them. Yes, Kristalina. Yes, Chetan, Kristalina Georgieva. Exactly. So, uh, Kristalina Georgieva, she is the IMF chief. You should be knowing about this. Sometimes, direct MCQs can be asked. Georgieva, Indian. Okay. So IMF Managing Director MD Kristalina Georgieva has urged countries that they need to resolve their trade tensions, they need to stabilize their economies, they need to address internal imbalances. Otherwise, the world economy is going to, slow down. Yes, Prachi, exactly. Kristalina Georgieva, right? So she warned that there is persistent uncertainty and inaction. This could really lead to a global economic slowdown. Okay? And this was made, during this 2025 World Bank Group and IMF spring meetings in Washington. Okay, so Georgieva says that there is, this world economy is facing a new test. There is weakened policy buffers after recent economic shocks. Trade tensions have been, you can say, escalated because of, President Donald Trump's imposition of reciprocal tariffs, 10% tariff on most imports. Though there's at an IT day pause, but still, this could, if these are implemented, these tariffs are implemented, then this is going to create a global backlash. Okay? So, according to IMF chief Kristalina Georgieva, what major risk could worsen the global economic slowdown? Rise in oil prices, technological advancements, increase in global employment, continued uncertainty and policy action. What is the answer? According to this IMF chief, what is the major risk that could lead to global economic slowdown? What is the answer? Is it rise in oil prices? Is it technological advancements? Is it increase in global employment or continued uncertainty and policy inaction? So D is the correct answer. All of you, very good. Continued uncertainty and policy inaction. Very good. Then we have this important news which I found related to AI. The agentic revolution of AI has already sneaked into human life. Here we are talking about this agentic revolution. So this is in case of your AI. This is in case of your AI. Let's see what it is about. See, this article talks about OpenAI's O3 O4 agents that we are seeing in ChatGPT, right? So these are major turning points where these AI agents, they were performing, complex human tasks. Okay, so now they are autonomously, they are on their own performing very complex human tasks, and that is why this article is saying that there is a new AI era which is called the agentic revolution. Okay, so initially we had this perception AI, just by recognizing speech and images, that was done by AI. Then we moved to generative AI, wherein Chat GPT is creating content. Right, that is your generative AI. And now we have this agentic AI where they are making their decisions on their own. Autonomous decision making, task execution by ChatGPT is happening. So these O3 and O4 जो models है of open AI, they can perform tasks end to end planning. They can make deciding tools, executing, iterating without constant human prompting. So they are bypassing this human interference also. Now they can summarize regulations, they can compile research projects, they can plan itineraries, complete bookings, they can monitor cash flow autonomously, they can fix e-commerce website bugs before humans even notice it. That means they are interfering without even any, they are doing, certain things without any human interference. That means they're autonomously doing certain tasks. And that kind of a revolution is called this agentic revolution. So company is like you could Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, Salesforce, AI sales agents. They are deploying these agentic AI technologies. And this is not only seen across just in technology, this tech sector, but in finance, HR, legal, marketing, e-commerce, they are seeing it over here as well. So this agentic system, this is very different from the traditional AI, and it is taking their tasks very automatically and autonomously. Okay, so what marks the difference between OpenAI's O3 O4 agents and previous AI systems? So you have this new word over here, agentic revolution. You can utilize this into your descriptive writing as well. Okay, descriptive writing as well. So what is the answer? They require human prompts to function. They autonomously plan, decide, and execute tasks. They are limited to simple tasks like chatbots. They mainly focus on image recognition. What is the answer? Absolutely correct. They autonomously plan, decide, and execute tasks. Okay, very good. Then we have democracy could be the great casualty of Trump's war. So again, we have this view, we have this article wherein this, we are saying that U.S. President Donald Trump's aggressive trade policy, especially against China, it is destabilizing the global democracy, and it is like a Cold War style ideological divide. Do you know about Cold War? Where Cold War is a situation. When do you say that a war is a Cold War? Who's going to tell me? When can you say that a war is a Cold War? What is the meaning of Cold War? War तो हमें पता है directly you're using your military equipment और एक दूसरे से लड़ रहे हो. What is Cold War? Indian Sharma is saying sanctions. Okay, this is one way of getting into a fight. Okay, anything else? What do you mean by a cold war? So Chetan is saying not openly criticizing but having hate for someone, they'll say. So basically, Cold War is, is that kind of a situation where you are not directly using weapons or military to fight with each other, but you're utilizing different tactics in order to exert your influence. So we know that China is a very emerging power and it is a threat to US dominance. Right? That is why US is trying to stop China from gaining that kind of dominance, right? So they're not directly getting into conflict with each other by using weapons and fighting with each other, but they are utilizing different aspects. For example, the tariffs which are levied by US, this is to disrupt the Chinese economy. So Trump is trying to maintain its global influence by doing so, right? So Abhishek says period of intense political and ideological rivalry, but not direct military conflict. Exactly. So Rahul says when actually weapon based war isn't happening, right? But rather competing on tech and other factors like US, Russia had their space race, right? Exactly. Protectionist stance. You can say kind of. Okay, so I hope you've understood the meaning of Cold War. So what this article is saying that these aggressive trade policies, especially against China, this is reviving this old Cold War divide of the world economy. ठीक है, so Trump imposed sweeping tariffs on imports like steel, aluminium, and Chinese goods, which is triggering the global trade tensions. Right? These tariffs called internal US issues too. Not that it is only hampering the global economy, but internally also it is hampering, like inflation, loss of faith in the US Treasury bonds. That is why in the previous one of these slides, we also saw that people are moving towards China and Brazil with their money. Right, and if you see that this war is not just about tariffs, it's basically China. This US wants to maintain its economic hegemony over China. Okay, and these Trump's protectionism is reviving these Cold War era tactics. You can say. Fine. So this Trump's civic policies also like anti-immigrant stance, civil liberty suppression. All these are part of your type of your Cold War ideological battles. You can say. And if such policies they continue, then democracy and not just economic stability would be the ultimate victim. So at the cost of democracy, this is going to happen. And this article is also talking about EU's role, European Union's role, that can it lead? Whether Europe can stand against America in this, in this problematic situation. Okay, so according to the article, what could be the greatest casualty of Donald Trump's trade war policies? Global economic growth, US dominance in global trade, democracy worldwide, China's economic rise. Tell me what is the correct answer. All of you try and solve this question. Quickly give me the answer, all of you. Democracy worldwide could be the greatest casualty of Donald Trump's trade war politics. Okay? Absolutely correct. Fine. So that is all from my side. These are the important articles that I wanted to discuss with you, everyone. If you want to connect with me beyond these live sessions, you can connect with me through my Telegram group. Just type Mannat Educator, and you will have access to my group. So you can connect with me over there. I keep sharing some important stuff, MCQs related to this. So you can connect with me over there. And all of you were correct. This is all from my side. If there's anything that you want to ask, you can ask me in the comment section. Otherwise, I will take your leave. Okay? You too, Prachi. Have a great day. You're welcome, Rahul. Fine. So this is the way you have to read your newspaper. This is the way you have to link your, current with your static portion. Understand the meaning of things, right? And analyze it through different viewpoints. You're welcome, Chetan. You're welcome, Vivek. So you guys can connect with me on Telegram as well. Okay. Indian Sharma is asking. You two have a great day. Uh, me game. I don't know. What's your name? Anyway, Indian Sharma says, ma'am, live mint or economic times for RBI. See, I take up the live mint analysis, so I would obviously say that you can go with the mint newspaper. Economic Times is also good, no doubt, but it is a little heavy. Plus, mint is easier to understand. It has a more holistic view. It gives you a more holistic view. This is more into the technical aspect also. Economic Times, plus it is lengthy. So whatever suits you, Indian Sharma, you can go with that. ठीक है? Whatever suits you, read it. Just read these newspapers. Sometimes the language also differs. So whatever language is suitable for you, whatever language you think you're able to understand, go with that newspaper. I take up these live sessions every day, so you can for a week or two just try and attend these sessions. If you think these are fruitful, then just go with this newspaper. But just keep your source very limited, and just one newspaper. Follow it. Okay? No, so the Times of India, if you're preparing for, you can say for other exams, then you can say reading Times of India, but that won't give you a good holistic view of, this, especially for this examination for RBI. ठीक or for regulatory body exams. Good is that you go with, there are 3 to 4 newspapers like Mint, Business Standard, Economic Times. I have picked up this Mint because it is easier to understand. It gives you a more holistic view. Plus, it covers the entire economy, finance sections, and other viewpoints are also very important. So if you see that I do not only bring the direct news, but I also bring in certain other important viewpoints as well, different articles also, so that you have more stuff to write it in your descriptive answer writing. That is why I do this mint analysis, so that you have a more it's not just about covering finance news, economics news, just for MCQ base, but you need to have a more holistic view. You need to have more understanding based view of the newspaper as well, right? That is what matters at the end, because you have to sit in an interview also, and they're not going to ask you fact based questions only. They're going to ask you your opinion as well. ठीक है? So accordingly, decide whichever newspaper is good for you, whichever you're able to understand. But whenever you read it, have a holistic view of it. Do not just go with 2 to 3 articles. कि ठीक है, you have decided 2 3 articles and you are covering it. No, take a more comprehensive view of the newspaper, so that you are not only MCQ ready, you are descriptive answer writing ready, you are interview ready. That is my motive of bringing this session. That is why I do not keep it limited to fact based questions or fact based news articles. I try to bring in viewpoints as well. I try to explain you in such a manner so that you can utilize in your answer writing, you can utilize these things in your newspaper, in your interview sessions as well. Fine. Is that clear? I hope this is clear. Uh, Anything else, anyone? I'll just wait for another 1 minute. If you have any other question, I'll answer it. Otherwise, I'm going to end the session here. Also, I'm going to bring in the RBI bulletin session for this month as well. For April, it has been released, so soon I will be updating you with that as well. So, that is all. See you in my next class. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye bye.